kings. That means anything that you want to be in life, you can be that. We all kings. The show still is all about inspiring, motivating, galvanizing, bringing us all together, and just trying to take this to another level. We know that we all got it in us. That's our calling. You are queens, ladies, and we are kings. And so that's what we call for. And then hopefully we can step into our calling, and then everybody can start pushing each other's, and we can get there. Come on this journey with us, y'all. Self-Made King Podcast. That's us. Y'all already know who we are, and it just keep getting better and better. I got some things going on today, man. I'm gonna tell y'all about it. But first, I want to hold up because we got some shout outs we got to do. We got a special person that's gonna be in the house with us tonight, right up here, man. We in Lima, Ohio. Y'all know I-75 right here, man. All you do is boom, boom. And you right here at the studio. But we gonna get these shout outs. We getting love, man, from everybody. And we want to tell y'all that we love y'all back. Y'all know that's our favorite word. And we just want to tell y'all, man, go over to our channel. Go over on YouTube. Like, subscribe. And then come on with us. And all you that haven't came, man, come join this journey with us, man. And it's going to take us far, man. We just believe that and we trust that. And so we going to work at that every day. And we just hope y'all just ride along with us. This Ohio area, you know we love it. So we here. And I always try to tell y'all about how I love this weather up here, man. You know, because it's always, man, it's normally cold as bad eggs up here, ain't it, Lou? Yeah. So now, man, today, man, it's 70-something degrees. It's beautiful outside, man. And so we got this gentleman to take this time of his day out to come up here with the Self-Made Kings podcast studio and come in here and give us everything that he got. All that good knowledge that's locked up in this man right here. Okay, so we're going to introduce him, but first we're going to introduce ourselves. We got Big Lou over here. That's my partner in arm. Y'all already know it. And I'm the dream, man. We the self-made. Y'all already know who we are. And so here we go. We got Mr. Jesse J.Lowe II. Yeah. And man, what's going on with my brother?
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you. And first off, I want to say that I'm glad that you took us up on the offer.
Immediate.
Yeah, man. Because me and Lou be like just checking different things out, and then just different things that's going on with different people in line, man. And we just see all the different things that you've been doing, man. With your, I mean, this guy got a resume long as this whole street right here, and y'all know it's long, man. West Street. But man, it's just all the things that you're doing, bro. And we just want to try to just go through that. We want Lima to know more about the things that you're doing, because sometimes we sit right over here and act like we don't know what the man doing, don't want to give the love and everything. So we got him up here today, and we just going to give him his flowers today because, I mean, he doing so much, man. He got the kids. He doing the drum line. He into music, man.
Barbershop.
Oh man, he cutting hair. He get a chance to be like that preacher and that teacher and all of that combination of all of that together, man. And it take a special person for that to sit there and to be able to absorb what somebody got to say, and then at the same time be receptive to that and all that. And then sometimes you be getting ministered to, and you got to minister back to them.
With love.
Oh, with love. Listen to that. Yeah. We got him here, man. This is Jesse Lowe. I told y'all who he is. And so, Jesse, man, what we want to do, man, we want the world to know about you. So our show go out on YouTube to the world, you know. So we just don't know who may pick this show up tomorrow and decide to look at it. And when they look at it, they're going to see it's a special person right here in this little bitty corner of Lima that's doing these things, man, that need to be seen, you know. And hopefully somebody else out there will see this. And, man, y'all may want to come just support what he's doing. And he's doing a lot of different things, and you're going to get a chance to see it, okay? So what I want to know and what Lou want to know, because we see this package right here of this grown man, you know, and you got that Navy experience, you know. When you walk in, you walk it up right. You ain't got your head down. You know what I'm saying? I just see the Navy in you. Yeah, for sure. And so we always want to know, like, where that come from. So I always like to try to start from the beginning, bro. Like, when you first got, like, just had this drive in you just to be this person that you are today. you know, and what really started. Give me some of them people that helped propel that too.
I want to say this before we even start, though. I honestly want to give all glory to God because
Okay, we do.
I
We do.
want to
We
be
do
here,
give all glory to God.
and
That's
I wouldn't
awesome.
be the person that I am without him. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
do want to say that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We with you too.
the kind of I'm gonna put it all out there. I just and I've been peeping you for a while. I've been sitting back like, like man, they ain't asked me yet. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted, I had to remain humble because I believe for everything there's a time,
Yes, sir.
and it
Yes,
wasn't
sir.
my time, and I understood that. But now that it is, you know, I thank you both of you for inviting me to come here and speak today.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome.
But on what you was talking about, I guess growing up, um, my father really wasn't present,
Okay.
um, and I got love for him. I got love for him. But I want to start it off like this: I never got to eat a dinner with my dad until I was 38 years old, where we sat down at the same table.
Uh-huh.
Now I love them, I do. I love my mom, but
Yeah.
they had their differences.
Yeah.
And you know, with cutting hair, I hear a lot of kids say, you know, I don't get to speak with my dad, or I don't get to speak with my mom because they don't get along, or they're torn. Then they got to go to school, and they're expected to perform.
Yeah.
You know, and they got a lot on their plates, and it's wild how God has sent you through little trials and tribulations, and then later on, I'm able to speak to these kids and say, look,
Yeah.
you know, we none of us got to pick our parents.
Uh-huh.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But you're commanded to love them both. If you
Yeah.
want your days on earth to be long,
Yeah. Talk.
you got to respect both of them. So
Right.
I'm able to do that. But the person that I think pushed me the most, and I'm gonna say my mama. Everybody
Yeah.
gonna say
Yeah.
the mama. You know,
Yeah.
you can't say nothing about my mama.
For sure. For sure.
You'll
mama.
lose.
That's mama.
You'll
That's
lose
right.
every time.
That's right.
But because my mom was a strong mother, she had to provide for us. So a lot of times she was working a lot of hours. I didn't have no options but to grow up real quick.
Okay.
You know, I had a sister that was a year younger than me, but at the end of the day, you know, I don't like saying the man of the house, but I was the male of the house. You know, when people say I'm the man, you know, there's a lot of definition. There's a lot of words in the definition of a real man.
Brother.
So she never ever called me the man of the house, but I felt that way.
Yeah.
My grandmother put a lot on me, you know, and she always would tell me, "You're going to be a leader. You got to lead." You know, so I had positive black role models in my family. You know, where my dad wasn't there at that time, I had my grandfather.
There you go.
Now, my grandfather was a jack of all trades. When I tell you this man, he could look at this table and walk around this table and go home and build it.
Yeah.
And you can set it right
Yeah.
beside
That's
it.
what granddad
And,
says.
and
Yeah.
it might be an inch off, but not too much more.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? So he
Yes.
taught me. And what he did, he didn't preach to me.
Mm-hmm.
He showed me. So like when he was doing plastering or drywall or carpeting or woodwork or whatever, he'd be like, stand here, hand me this, hand me that, hand me this.
Yeah. Come
And I
on.
work all day
Yes,
for
right
it.
there.
Work
Come
all
on.
day for it.
Come on.
A team pop and a banana flip cake.
Y'all heard that? Team. Okay.
Yeah, a team pop and a banana flip cake all day. Be tired, you know, but he was showing me instead of talking to me.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And he would never ever, he never scolded me. He always told me what I need to think about
Okay.
before I did it. He never said, I said you better do that. You know, now he wasn't like that with his kids. But you know, when the grandkids come along, they flip up.
That's right.
So he would always say, hey, you need to concentrate and think about this or weigh your options. Or he would just say, what's the alternative?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, think of it.
So he would work me like that, bro. Now, he never went to church with us, but he always made sure the shoes were shined, the clothes was on point.
Yeah.
You know, whether we had the dusty Wrangler jeans on
Come on.
or the Garanimals. You know, the Garanimals. Okay, so it didn't matter. We had you iron your clothes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Go chop this wood, move the coal.
Yeah.
Like he taught me that working and having, it took a lot. And he was a garbage man. And 90% of the house was from the garbage route.
Yeah. Come on.
But when you walked in there, nobody knew that.
You would never know it.
Nobody knew that. And people was responsive to him because he talked with power.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, everybody says, you know, he had an addiction. It was alcohol.
Yeah.
But he was dealing with stuff that happened to him in the past too.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Everybody, I was looking at the person and not the disease.
Yeah, come on now.
You know, so as I grew older and seeing, you know, the stuff that him and my grandma was going through, at the end of the day, they still was there.
That's right.
They was a constant for me. Whether I agreed with the way they did things or not, they was a constant. I knew the food was gonna be there. and the good too.
Yeah.
So
I knew the food was gonna be.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So what's one of the hardest lessons your grandpa had to teach you?
To sit still. You could be outside playing, running around, doing whatever you wanted to do, and he said, "Y'all come on in here and sit down." And they had this 6-foot long red crushed velvet couch I couldn't stand. You be outside sweating your legs off, you know what I'm saying? Then you got to come in there and sit on that hot velvet couch.
Yeah,
You be like, man, what is
so
going down?
it was more like a times out.
It was a timeout, but what he was saying was, no matter what you're doing, whatever, take the time to take a break,
Okay.
to look at things.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll be tired in life when you don't even know you're tired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be sitting on the couch 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you knocked out.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's the kind of things that, back then I look at it now like, whoa.
Wow.
He was on it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
with those 3 strong people in my life, me and my sister, like I said, is about a year apart. I looked after her. My sister was a terror, bro. Like you think I call it straight? She called it straight. You remember D on What's Happening?
Come on.
Okay, yeah, like my sister was like that, man. Like she told everything, but it was cool. I look back now, it was a check and balance.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a check and balance. So she knew that if I got it, then she was gonna get it when my mom left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like she checked me, and I appreciate her for that. School teachers, we had solid teachers back then, man, that looked like us, that wanted us to succeed.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, brother.
Miss Gwen was a powerful force in my life over at Emerson Elementary.
Okay.
Miss Gwen would come and just point at me. She was like, "Lowe, get on the wall." I'd be like, "What I do? Like I ain't do nothing."
Yeah.
She like, she like, "Get on the wall." But I'm like,
and see, now I was Miss Brown.
"Oh, okay."
Wasn't having it. Anybody know her, you know what I'm about.
Miss Gwen would check me, and I'd be like, "Man, what is wrong?" And this is all my teachers had something at me, but I didn't get it to Miss Gwen, and it was looking at a black woman in her face, brown eyes, telling me what I can be. You know what I'm saying? I remember my mom bought me. Well, I had to work for it, but I had to work. I got a Michael Jackson beaded jacket.
Okay, come on with that beaded
jacket. And I had the beaded jacket on, and I zipped the zippers off. And I traded sleeves with a dude named Marty Williams.
Okay.
And she told me, "Did you buy that jacket?" I said, "Yeah, I did, actually." She said, "Did your mom allow you to buy that jacket?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Your mom works too hard to make sure that you can go get your sleeves back."
Right, talk. No.
Why is you giving what you done earned away? You ain't even got to enjoy it yet. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with sharing.
Right.
But I gave it to her. You know what I'm saying? And she would check me. But back to the put me on the wall, she would put me on the wall. And I said, "What did I do?" And she would come to me and tell me, "You are a leader. Quit following these knuckleheads.
Wow. Yeah.
Get on the wall. If you ain't gonna leave, sit on the wall."
Yeah.
And I used to be like, "Oh," I used to go home fired. Fired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'd have an attitude. Then I get a whooping at home because my mom,
because she find out.
If I told, she'd like, "Oh, so you calling the teacher a liar?"
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Her word was her bond.
Man, that's
right. Her bond.
That's right.
So you got it either way. If you was bold enough to call the teacher a liar, you was gonna get tore down anyway. And then she still might call her, and you might get it again, or you get it again. You get it when at that time my stepdad was involved in our lives, and he still wasn't my dad, so I had beef. I was being a fool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He provided monetary love.
Yeah.
He made sure we ate, but he still wasn't my dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't look like me. He didn't act like me.
Yeah.
I wanted to know who he was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it was rough, and I made it bad on my mom. Running away, acting stupid, going to school. But the one thing that kept me grounded really was music. Like I loved playing music. I was in band all through school.
So now, with music, what instrument you play?
Well, I played all percussion. Literally all percussion.
Drums too?
I played drums. I could play timpani, the chimes, the bells, the marimba, the xylophone, the timbales, the bongos, the congas, all percussion.
You know what? We love y'all. That's our favorite word, but we always got to step away every now and then for a break. We're going to step out for a minute for a break, and we'll be right back. Self-made kings. We love y'all. We out. Yeah, bro. So it's like, check this out. So you were saying that how your dad wasn't there,
Right.
and you still respect him. That's kind of like our story. It's like, and I guess it's almost a lot of black male story.
Yeah.
And but it's so close to mine, man. It's unbelievable. You sit here and listen to you, but it's like, but you understood it.
Well, I
What you
understood
was
it
going
because
through.
he had to fight a war. See, people don't
Right.
understand that these brothers went to Vietnam, seen
Yeah.
seen
Oh
stuff,
my goodness, you
and
talking like I'm
and came back
Yes,
home,
man.
and then we supposed to normalize things.
They deserve that break, man. But
Yeah.
a lot of us, like Shaq, it took him forever to be able to, accept his dad, and now
Right.
they getting along now. But it's just so much of that going. But what I was trying to get to is that, okay, you say along that way, it was making something in you. It was creating something because now, okay, you're right now you're a barber. And
Correct.
so now you have these young men, you have these young ladies, you have all these people come to you with that same problem.
And
And
ask
it's like,
questions.
yeah,
What
bro.
did
And it's
you
like
do?
now,
Yeah.
but you tailor for that. You
Yeah.
tailor for that because you learned how to accept that. You learned how to beat that down and put it into perspective where it's supposed to be. And now you're able to mentor to people that's going through that. And it's like, listen to that blessing right there. That's all I'm trying to.
And I thank God for the ability to be able to do that. But the difference is, I had men in my church that I always seen. I always seen, like when somebody tells me about, like Dr. Melvin Woodard, yo, you can't say nothing to me about Dr. Melvin Woodard because when I didn't have no dad, he was there. When the food needed to be put on the table, he was there. When we needed to go out of town to do different conventions,
Spring Street.
he was there. Like I'm talking a preacher.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
like he did for us. He made sure that all the youth, not just the
Yes.
men, but all the youth was held accountable for any and everything we did. Like you be at school, he just walk in the door.
And shout out, we want to give a shout out to straight up to
Reverend Woodard.
Reverend Woodard.
Yeah.
And Dennis
Dennis
brother
Wood.
people.
Okay,
you got that
yeah,
right.
that's my pastor now.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know you was over there.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like we had men, we had the Julius Toddies, we had the Roger Todd teachers, we had Grapes.
Yes,
we
yes,
just
that's
was
right,
speaking
that's
on
right.
Grapes. Like I can go to Grapes right
Shout out
now.
Grapes.
Grapes, there's mentor right there. So
Yes.
like I can go to him right now and be like, hey, if there's a situation, one thing I will not do to any young man, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm actually too raw some days,
Yeah.
but they come back and they appreciate it. And I tell them, I say, listen, do this or think about this. I do the same thing that my grandfather did to me.
Right.
So it
That's
made me
good.
who I am.
So you took that on. You did
Right.
that.
Right.
And so after graduate, you graduated from here. From
Graduated Lama Senior, was Spartan to the core, baby.
Okay, to the core.
91.
Now, what made you decide you go into the Navy? Because that's a different breed, man. I mean, you going out on that water.
I went to the Navy because I was out there. And when I say out there, like no woman at Lama Senior was good enough for Jesse Lowe.
Okay.
I thought I was the man. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't tell me nothing. I wanted the finest thing popping. I wasn't, at that time, 18, 19, you ain't thinking about a partner.
Yeah.
You thinking about beauty and lust.
Yeah, talk. That's
you
right.
know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So actually we went to an Ohio Baptist General Convention.
Okay.
And I seen somebody and she seen me and then she linked her way to Lima and all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And I mean, just for real. And I was thinking with the wrong head, and I'm just gonna say it like that.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
it. We
saying?
do that.
Thinking with the wrong one, and ended up having 2 children. Well, when my first son, when she said I'm pregnant, I'm like, whoa, this is February of '91. I'm great.
Okay.
Graduate.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that fatherless. I didn't want my son to be that fatherless child. Like, what am I going to do? I got to provide.
Yeah.
I know how I felt. I'm not going to let this happen to mine. So I told my mom I'm going to the Navy, and she's like, basically, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I dipped on them.
Why'd you pick the Navy out of all the branches?
I went to the Navy because I didn't want to carry a gun.
Okay.
It's just that simple.
Okay.
I didn't want anything to do with a gun.
Right.
I seen the destruction that was causing. We grew up through the 80s, the early 90s.
Sure.
You seen what was popping off. You
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
I got tired of burying friends. I got tired of burying, family members. And it's just like, come on, y'all. The community. You go to school. Hey, such and such, little Johnny's dad died last night. What you talking about? They was either smoked out or shot up.
Yeah.
You know, so it got, you know, at that time, the whole East Side joint was popping.
Yeah.
You know, like it was bad.
Right.
It was bad. Limelight was bad.
Snake pit.
You know, yeah, straight
It
up.
works,
So I
over and
didn't,
over.
I didn't want that. I had to provide something better. So I signed up. As a matter of fact, I went in on a Wednesday. He said, "Can you go to Columbus tonight?" I said, "Yeah." Took the test. He brought me back home. He said, "You know, you passed." I said, "Yeah." He said, "We flying out Friday." I'm like,
Right.
"What?" You know what I'm saying? So I went at that time. Hey, shorty, I know you're pregnant. I got to provide. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, I'm about to do this. Flipped out on me. Went to the service, and it was crazy because it's only supposed to be an 8 to 9 week course. I ended up being in 3 different companies, and I'm gonna tell you why I was in 3 different companies. The first one was I met this white boy. His dad was the president of Zenith Copy Machines.
Okay.
He had never been around nobody black. He got smart. He popping off at the lip, you know, and that word came out, and I blasted him.
Yeah.
So I got set back for fighting. Then the next company, I got set back for laughing. Like I'm a comedian to the core. Okay, I'm a comedian to the core. Like I just was laugh, but I would at that time I didn't realize it until I got older. Like I was laughing, not to cry in front of people.
Right.
I was joking and clowning people. So if I can make you laugh, that might bring a smile to me. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. But anyway, I got in another fight, and it was with a company commander because I had a white man in my face telling me what I better do and how to do it.
Come on.
And I wasn't used to no man, let alone now I got a white dude in my face.
Yeah.
And like I was like, oh no, I ain't having
I ain't
this.
going for it.
So put my hands on him, and then they court-martialed me. And then I remember just doing these drills all day, and they couldn't break me. They couldn't get me to quit and say I wanted out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, dude, I had 4 squares. They like, you're going to stay right here. And I mean, drilling and gunning, infantry, like everything. It was crazy. And he looked at me, and they brought this bald-headed brother. Man, I swear on everything, he looked like Luke Gossip Jr. Like, he brought him in there, and he was like, you ready? You ready to quit? I was like, I can't quit. I got a son at home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That was it, man. And he was like, I'm going to put you in one more company. So when I went through that, it was crazy. Like 2 years later, I was on the USS Hunley, and he came across the deck. He looked me in my eye, and even back then I still had the feelings like, man, just blast this dude. You know you can take him out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but nah, he was straight up with me.
Yeah.
He said, "You a true man."
Yeah.
And I never forget that, man. He's like, "You a true man."
Yeah.
And that was it. He just knew I had priorities, and I don't know. He might have had to went through the same thing. You know
For sure.
You know, I don't know, but the Navy life was cool. One of the best decisions I ever made. I talk to kids all the time. You know, it's senior year, graduation now. I've been on the heavy this week. Like, what you gonna do?
Right.
You know, because see, I'm gonna say this, and this ain't a cut of education, but like everybody that told me, "Oh, you need to go to college to get 4 years of this," they didn't have nothing.
Right.
Like, how you gonna tell me to go to college and you ain't got nothing?
Yeah.
So I said, man, I got to provide. So that's what I did. I went to the Navy. I've seen the world, bro. I really, honestly, not bragging, I have truly seen the world.
Yeah.
You know, and I was back home by 24.
Wow.
I'm almost a 1.5 around. Like I've seen it over 50 countries. Like I've seen the world.
Right.
You know, so you know, my wife get on me now. Can we go on the cruise, man? I ain't trying.
You trying to go back
trying
out
to
there
look
like
at
I'm
no water, like you know. But you know, I owe her that. It's coming. It's coming back. It's coming.
But it's like that's like really of you being on an island almost because you really can't tell that you actually own that.
That's not quite true. That's not quite true. Whatever goes on the ship, you can still do in the civilian world. Okay. So cutting hair, barbers, mechanic. But actually, I was a boiler mate and a machinist technician. Okay. I can walk into any. I could walk. Matter of fact, up at the prison when I came back, I went to take on a job and I was looking through some things, and I was like, "Why they got this centrifugal pump here?" And then he had a hydraulic pump, and I was pneumatic, and I was like, "You got an extra bypass right here." I think I talked myself out the job, but like, it's there, but I wasn't happy doing that.
Okay.
The money is there. I can probably go back into it right now. The money is there, but my thing was to reach and teach. So the clippers, I actually started cutting at about 11 and a half, 12, because my stepdad had an alcohol problem, and he came home one time, and you know, his thing was, I could tell when he always see my real dad in the street, because he come home, then he want to cut my hair and buzz my hair, make me look like a fool. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of it. Yeah. I can always tell when he seen
Yeah,
it. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
like, I got tired of that mess, and I actually threw his clippers away. So I took the whooping. You know, I don't know what you're talking about. I just took the whooping, and then my best friend, Greg Johnson, shout out to Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
He was like, listen, man, my dad got some clippers.
Okay.
So I started cutting his hair. He cut my hair. He jacked me up. So I had to jack him back up. You know. So you had the big parts. You know, back then that was the kid and play.
Right, I was just going to say that was the flat top with the
Kwame,
bar and everything.
You know, Kwame was hot.
Yeah.
So we was living that lifestyle. But that's how I learned how to cut.
So that's when you just kind of dialing around.
That's dabbling around.
Awesome.
But my partners at the time too, I want to say this, like, when I say my strong black mom, like, I was scared to even think about selling weed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at, I remember people was rocking the Diodoras.
Yeah, come on.
I couldn't do the pony flats.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the pony sways.
Uh-huh.
So my thing was cut hair, get the money, save up till you can get it.
Yeah.
So I was doing the same thing. I just did it legal.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Right. And you come to find that out, which a lot of us come to find out later. Even anybody that dabbled in the drug game, you would have, if you go do 2-3 years, whatever time you go do, man, you could have, when you get out, you come to find out, man, I could have had that same thing if I would have just stayed in line and went on done what I wanted to do. But I had to go through all of this to find that out, you know. But you know what though, man, every now and then we gotta go take these breaks and go pay these bills. Man, what we got him up here today, Jesse Lowe, we got him up here at the studio, man, we having fun. He took the time out of his day. And what we finna do, we finna go take these bills, we gonna hydrate, and we gonna be right back with you. We love y'all, man, the Self-Made King, we gonna step out for a minute, we out. So we right back here again, Self-Made King Podcast. Man, we want to tell you guys again our favorite word. We love y'all. Okay? And to be thanking you again for being on this journey with us. Once again, we got Jesse Lowe in the house.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, you're welcome. We've been having a good time, man. Just finding out all the different things about the brother. We kind of went through his life, kind of like coming up, and some of the things that he have been through, like the different trials. We kind of dabbled in on the service, the part of it, the Navy, you know, the things that he been through with that. And, you know, we graduated from Lima. You know, he's, you know, committed right here. He's our own. But I want to know, bro, because you still had to make it through. And then, so you told us about how you decided to start cutting hair and everything and got into that and what kind of inspired you to start really cutting hair and everything. And so you took that on, but it was a part, man, that came along. And I was right in this, right in the middle of this, because I didn't know how to feel about it. I didn't know really because all I saw was this strong black man at the time was willing to step in the gap. And to be able to step in the gap. Now listen to this, at this time, we was going through a crack epidemic in Lima, Ohio, right here. I mean, it was all over the world, but right here, it was bad. It was bad too. And everybody, we had people here that were straddling the fence. We didn't know how we wanted to do it because it hadn't really hit home with us. It was affecting a lot of different people around here. People getting their grandmother choked out because the grandson that came home and, you know, needed some money for crack and granny wouldn't give it to him, so he choked her out. You know what I'm saying? And we had all that going on, but a lot of that hadn't hit home yet to us. So a lot of time until things hit home with you, you don't feel it. Am I right, Lou?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So if it ain't your granny, you really you hear about it.
On to the next.
Right. On to the next. But you know what? It started to hit home around here a little bit. I mean, it started getting worse and worse. And then so where this man literally was standing in the gap. I mean, it may be a crack house on this corner. He on the next corner staying, I'm talking about, didn't care about all these bad boys that's out there, all y'all that's supposed to be bad. This man stood in the corner in the gap and said, drugs bring death. Had the signs out and everything. And so I saw the momentum. I ain't jiving, but I'm going to keep it real. I saw the momentum. It could have been, when you first started, it might have been 5 people out there. And it just kept getting bigger. And it kept getting bigger. Then more people started coming out. Then everybody started saying, hold on. It's too much happening now. Mm-hmm. There's too much stuff going on. And then it started to hit the white people.
That's exactly what happened.
So I want you to tell me about that, bro, because I just know from what I seen, but you was in the middle of the fight. Okay. And I want to know what kind of made you just want to be this person that just say, enough is enough.
I want this is going to take a little minute, but I want you to listen and listen very well, okay? Mm-hmm. The one thing I would never do is disrespect the individual's family.
Mm-hmm.
So to Tarika Wilson and her family,
Yes.
on everything I love, I hate that situation the way it went down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't agree with the way the situation went down.
Right.
And with me, it had nothing to do with that situation.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to tell you the story behind this. I was working at Rite Aid doing security.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this little black brother came in. He was about 10 or 11 years old. And he went to the back of the store. And I'm looking at him up in the cameras and everything. And he stole a poster board and a black marker.
Okay.
And I pulled him to the side. I said, "Come here, little brother." I said, what you doing, man? I got He went to crying. I said, "Don't boo-hoo now. You know, same thing make you cry. You know, say make you smile, make you cry. Let's go."
Yeah.
So I took him to the back room. And he was like, "Is you really going to do this, bruh?" Then he went hit me with all the bruh.
Yeah,
Now, I'm doing my
right,
job.
right,
I'm doing
right.
my job. But at the same time, I was like, "Where's your daddy at?"
Mm-hmm.
He looked at me like I was crazy. I said, "Where's your dad?" "Man, my dad in prison." I said, "For what?" He said, "Selling drugs." I said, "Where's your mom?" "At home, drunk on the couch." I said, "What?" "I told my mom on Friday I got a report due on Monday."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "I don't have no money, so I'm taking it." I said, "What's your mom's number?" "She ain't gonna answer the phone." So I said, "Give me the number." Gave me the number. I called her. She didn't answer the phone. That let him chill there for like 30 minutes, man. I'm trying to scare the devil out of him. Okay, so I came back. And my job was like, "Man, just release him." I said, "No, I'm not releasing him.
Yeah.
I'm not releasing him. I want to get a hold of a parent because if he do it now, he gonna do it later." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But at the time, you know, and this ain't my family goes from clear to booty black. Okay,
Yeah.
so when I say what I say, I'm just being real with you. Okay, and them white folk at that time did not care about this little brother getting arrested.
For sure.
Period.
For sure.
Okay, so I was just like, I'm not calling the cops to get this boy arrested. I need to talk to a parent. So no parent called me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's time for me to go home.
Okay.
So I was like, "Where you live?" I took her to the crib. Not going to disclose where that was at, but I took her to the crib and I told her. Came back next day. I bought me a marker and a poster. Got off work. I went home. And my wife said, "What are you about to do?" I said, "Man, the drugs brought this kid death. Mentally, he was tripping. Physically, he looked like he had just been defeated and depleted. And spiritually, he was gone. He was trying to do the right thing by doing the wrong thing."
Yeah, just didn't care. I'm just gonna
He's
go.
like, "I got to get my lesson."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, "Man, drugs bring death." And at the time, St. John's and Catappa was like the nuclear spot.
Yep.
Like everybody was standing out doing this, that, and the other. So I was smart. I waited on my wife to go to work.
You heard that.
and I drew a poster, and I still got it to this day. I drew this poster that said "Drugs bring death," and I went out on St. John's and Catappa, and I just stood there with the sign above my head. The Wilson family was the furthest thing from my mind, but when the first dude drove by and pointed a barrel at me, it hit me. Right. She ain't dying in vain. You died in vain. You know, like he just started, and I was like, "Oh no, this ain't got nothing to do with Tarika."
Right.
But right then, I just started praying like I'm about to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was just start praying, and my answer was, "I told you stand still."
Yeah.
I told you stand still. I told you stand still. But all these dudes that were so bad and so tough and rough, and you know Johnny this and Johnny that, man, none of them came to me and asked me nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting there like, you know, as the day progressed, I mean, I started like at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So as the day progressed, you know, my chest started swelling a little bit. Like I was getting that confidence, like they ain't gonna mess with me. They just talking.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. And I'm gonna say it, bro.
Wow.
I can't tell you. Well, I can tell you, but I'm not gonna tell you how many pastors drove by me.
Wow.
And turned their head and turned their nose.
Yeah.
South side, north side, west side, east side pastors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you doing something that they
hadn't done.
And then seeing you standing in the gap when they know they should have been the one. And now somebody doing it. And okay, go ahead.
Okay. So that happened. Then I seen a couple city leaders, officials drove by me. Like, "Man, what you doing?" I'm gonna tell you, the first person that stopped and talked to me was JoJo Clark.
Come on, Joe.
JoJo Clark.
Come on, Joe.
She said, "Jesse, do what you got to do."
Yeah.
got in her car.
But
But what I'm saying is, a woman jumped out the car, bro. A woman jumped out the car. Okay. The second person was Robert Spivey. I don't know if you know him. Robert Spivey pulled up on me and he asked me, man, what you need? He said, did your family know you out here? I said, yeah. He said, man, this is a dangerous thing that you're doing. I said, but it's the truth and I got to stand with it. He said, all right. So then Jeff Fitzgerald and can't think of the other, but he's going to kill me. Phil. At WLIO.
Okay.
They drove. Philip. They drove by and they see me and they flipped the car around like, man, what's up? And I basically told them, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. This is my city. I got kids. I got family. We can't go nowhere. We can't do nothing. We shooting ourselves. Every time we shoot ourselves, we mad. And they, well, what's this have to do? It had nothing to do with the case. But it amazed me, even to this day, we doing all these marches. We doing all these stands, but we kill each other and oh well, next brother.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? But if a white dude shoot you, if a white cop shoot you, if a white teacher or whoever, some random, they say mental illness now, I don't even get into that. But they do it.
Yeah, we ready to march.
We ready to march.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to George. But my thing is like this. These officers put a foot on his neck, a knee on his neck. Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. We marched down Market Street, but you got families shooting families in town, and nobody's saying nothing. But you march for a dude you ain't never met or never gonna meet.
Yeah.
I got a problem with that, bro. I got a problem with that.
Yeah.
So when I did what I did at that time, I was like, what's it gonna take? Somebody gonna step up. I'm thinking once I stepped up, I might be able to turn around and somebody would have my back.
Right.
My crew was so small.
It was, man.
My crew was so small, man. And then people was like, what you gonna do? And I was like, I gotta pray on it first. What's your next move? I gotta pray on it first. And people couldn't understand that. And truth be known, I didn't understand it.
No, you didn't.
But I knew that I had to just keep praying. So God would say, hey man, I need you to do this area. And I would go stand on that corner. And it was crazy, like hindsight. Everywhere that he put me in a four-way where there wasn't no buildings, couldn't nobody snipe me from the top of nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like he put me, around people. I had undercover cops out there at that time. Before I got on city council, I didn't know who they was.
Yeah.
But there was undercover cops out there beside me that I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you, and everybody knows him, after about the 10th or 11th stand, Warren Pugsley.
Yeah.
Warren came up to me and he goes, I know what you're doing, Lowe. I'll never forget that day, man. He goes, I know what you're doing. I said, what? He said, you're bringing all these people together. And once the fellowship is established, then the camaraderie is established and people can talk. But what we was doing out there too, when I was doing those stands, I had all kinds of restaurants bringing people food. People get to run in their mouth when they got food.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so once the fellowship and the camaraderie got there and they could start seeing just because your skin looked like this table and my skin looked like this bottle, what's inside, what's going to make us better. And he's seen it.
Yes.
He's seen it. And he was the first person, still to this day. He the only person that came and said, I seen your vision, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Warren on that.
Shout out, Warren.
He's seen that. But it was a difficult time. We was able to get a lot of individuals rehab and treatment absolutely free. We had some churches that were donating on a regular basis to make sure if we got a person, we took them to rehab. St. Rita's had a center where we can kind of get them detoxed. But the centers that was already established in Lima, and we couldn't get no help.
Right, that's crazy.
We couldn't get no help. Crazy. Now you're getting all this government funding, but when the problem hit you in the face, you didn't want to help.
Yeah.
So we ended up Sydney, Cincinnati, Columbus East, and we reached out and we helped just off of Lima, Kenton, and Delphus. We was able to help about 75 different families and about 200 individuals.
Wow.
And our rate was, and now this is rehab free.
Excuse me.
This is total free rehab.
Yeah.
We had 2 vehicles. We wasn't getting paid for none of this. So we jump in the vehicle, get off work, take them to rehab, come back. I mean, it was nights. My wife was very, very, very understanding and scared. And scared. And I want to say this too. Shout out to Dan Beck. Dan Beck came up to me and he said, hey man, I'm hearing some things. Here you go. I never in my life thought I was going to wear a bulletproof vest, but I wore a bulletproof vest for like 18 months, man.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's crazy.
and the only thing that broke me was my daughters had to walk home, and they got stopped, and they said, "Tell your dad watch his mouth." Now you coming at my kids, so I knew I was hitting on something. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, "Yo, me being in prison ain't gonna help my baby girls."
Right.
So I had to step back. We did open some other chapters. There was 5 nationwide at one time. Now we're down to 2. So they're still operating. They're still running nonprofit, and they're doing good. But out of the drugs bring death though, because my name. I remember. I think at one time the report was like 285 times in a year.
Yeah.
That we was in the paper.
Yeah.
Like that's sick. That's sick.
You was
It's sick. It's sick.
growing. It got bigger and bigger. And now before, I want to make sure I touch on that too, because that kind of propelled you into the city council.
City council.
So how did that
Everybody
transpire right quick?
because everybody wanted a leader.
Yeah.
Everybody
at
wanted a
the
leader,
time.
but God hadn't told me I was leader. I had teachers and people around me saying, "Hey man, you need to do this. You need to do this," but I didn't move because I didn't have an answer.
Right.
Like I pray on everything. I didn't have an answer, so I didn't move. So a lot of people was looking like, "Oh, this mo, he just gassed up." You know what I'm saying? He weak. He ain't about to do nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So literally, I'm a true believer in dreams.
Yeah.
And I seen myself actually, and this is no disrespect to Miss Smith. I think she's doing a fantastic job, but I seen myself in her chair. And I was like, that ain't for me because I knew I couldn't dedicate the time and I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
I didn't have the college education. I didn't, when you represent the city, you need to be able to walk well, talk well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
So I knew that wasn't it. The dream was there, but I prayed on that too. So his thing was put yourself in a position where you can help the community.
Yeah.
So the only way to do it is put yourself in a position of power to make the change. What I
Exactly.
didn't understand was we are a charter city. So even being a charter city, anytime that we vote on something, the mayor can come back if he don't agree in 2 weeks and propose it again.
Okay.
Okay. If it gets denied, he can propose it again. On the third time, you have to have a major majority. But at the time, council was so stacked up with all his cronies that he was able to get that passed through.
Yeah.
So when I came on and was disagreeing with a lot of stuff that was going on because our neighborhoods wasn't getting repaired. Our neighborhoods looked like crap.
Yeah.
The lights was out, wasn't no curves, wasn't no streets. There was trash everywhere. Code enforcement was coming finding us, but you can go to Betty Sue's or Becky with the good hair down the street and wasn't nothing said.
Right.
So I was just like, what's going on? Then I seen that it came down to voting. So the individuals that vote was the individuals that was getting taken care of in the city. So my mission then was y'all got to get out and vote.
Yeah, we got to get out. Yeah.
And he would come to the mayor at that time would come to our church once a year and wave at everybody, and everybody thought he was Jesus Christ, for that Sunday.
Yeah.
And they would go out and vote for him.
Right.
And
then
like,
that's like
they just
all our votes.
and they stuck by the party and not the person.
Talk. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest, I said I'm registered Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrat Party ain't really never did nothing for me.
Right.
Like if you really do your true history, there's a lot of brothers I don't understand. Now, the Republican that was in position a couple years ago, we all know, we was a fool. We know, we know he was a fool.
We was living.
He was, we know he was a fool.
We was getting it though.
But he don't represent every person. Just like Dave Berger didn't represent every Democrat
And I know that.
in the city of London.
That's right.
So that was, me and him, it was, I don't even want to get into it, but me and him had a lot of beef, but it was because I was so forward and I asked questions and there was accountability because the people put you here. You know what I'm saying? And,
And so
Go ahead.
And you know what? Not cutting you off, but because I want to kind of stay on that because I was thinking of like, okay. And so when you think about that, you how that was, and then what you decided to do, far as like just going into the politics part of it.
When I went into not to cut you off, Dave, but when I went into the politics part of it, I want to say this: I was a representative, but I wasn't a politician.
Okay, got you.
Okay, I didn't play the game. I didn't know how to play the game. I never seen none of us in a position that played the game.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't had no money.
Yeah.
Everybody down there had money, had fantastic jobs, came from chains of money.
Yeah.
Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So they knew when they opened their mouth, they said they was going to do something. They had the finances to do it.
Right.
Okay, I wasn't in that position.
Yes.
Okay, so it was different when I came to the table. Some meetings I wouldn't say nothing to the last minute. And they say, Mr. Lowe, I said, they pimped you once. Why you gonna let them pimp you twice?
Yeah.
Meeting over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Right.
different stuff like that happened. But in my heart of hearts, man, every meeting was for us.
Yeah, that's right.
And
So we hope that some of
it
who
was
are in there.
it really truly was for us and to represent us in a manner. I never wanted to do anything that would make anybody of color, minority, even white that I represented in my ward. I never wanted them to feel ashamed of anything that I was saying. And that was a burden. It was a burden to the point I was at 388 pounds.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
just the
because
stress. Yeah.
you got to take on all that, man. I
Yeah.
mean, you're a councilman of a ward. You know what I'm saying? The people. So when you think of that, now it's just like, man, where we at right now with the black man. How Sharita done got it, and she wonderful. Shout out Sharita and to our black mayor and the different people that have moved into office. People of color. And just the whole makeup of everything since you done left. And the state that is in right now. How do you feel about that? I mean, do you think that we headed in the right direction? Do you think that, are we finally getting there? Even though because we got a black mayor now,
Right.
which don't matter because she's black. I mean, it does matter to us, but I'm just saying, okay, so we got that part taken care of. But do you feel like, we are in a better state now and we heading in the right direction since you left?
I think we are headed in the right direction, but I'm going to tell you, it was convenient how he broke camp when he knew wasn't no money there. He left her broke. They can say what they want to. They can get mad, bro. I'm going to tell you right now. And that was my guard with Miss Smith. And I'm going to tell her, if I see her right now, I'm going to give her respect. I'm going to give her respect. I'm going to respect her position.
Yeah.
But I was hurt because I didn't want to see her in a position. Sometimes people will promote you to demote you. Okay. And I knew that the general fund, there wasn't no money for her to work with. Okay. So we got to go out and get all these grant monies and funds and government assistance and this, that, and the other. And she's doing her thing. I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at the time coming in, I'm like, yo, it wasn't that I didn't think she had an inability of doing the job. I didn't want to see a sister getting her fingers pointing at her and saying she ain't do this. Oh, we knew she wasn't gonna do this. I knew that. I'm gonna tell you on the low key, even behind the chair, I had her back probably more than anybody.
Yeah.
But I didn't have things said. I was sending pictures. I was telling people not to vote for her. I was supporting Elizabeth. Like, man, it's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy. But none of these people that was talking all that yang ever came to me.
So you hear him today, he's straightening that out right now.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, and I call, and you know what? It's kind of crazy because about 3 weeks ago, no, well, it's been longer than that. It's been about 2 months ago. A situation happened where I had a young brother come into the town to save on some energy costs, okay? And I hooked him up with a councilman, okay? So that he would have a foot in the door before the bids even came up, so he would know exactly what to do because I wanted to see this young brother make it.
Yeah.
Well, he got out and started telling people that he already had the hookup with the city. Okay, yo,
Yeah.
don't do my name. I worked too hard for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I literally got a hold of somebody that got a hold of her that had that personal cell phone number, and I wanted her to know from the heart, yo, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
I want you to understand, Sarita. I apologize.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is not the way it's supposed to go down, but that's what a real man's supposed to do.
Right.
And it wasn't about. I don't have no beef. Honestly, man, I don't got no beef but with one person.
Yeah.
Okay, for real, one person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that'll ever get smashed. You know what I'm saying? But through all things, through all Christ, all things is possible. But it is.
Wow.
It's a scorn, but that's it. So, Miss Sarita, just publicly, I'm gonna let you know, I had no problem with her the way she's running the city. It's starting to look nice. She's working with the county.
Yeah,
the city looks cleaner.
Yeah. Things look
so-
like it's going up, man.
Yeah,
Look
so-
like it's going up. So we go through all of that. We come through everything, man, that you done, man, from the Navy to the barber, all the way to the councilman. So now you out here, you got your own business now. It's called Black Lace. And before we get out of here too today, I want us to make sure that we know where Black Lace is at.
Okay.
Let the people know exactly where Black Lace at and what Black Lace is all about.
Okay, Black Lace is located at 768 North Main Street, Lima, Ohio. If a lot of you guys may be familiar, it's a staple in the city where the Firehouse Bar and
Yes.
Grill is.
Yeah.
I'm right beside it north. If you get to the gas station, you went too far. So I'm at Black Lace, kind of short way journey. I worked with Miss Ruth Glover for about 10 and a half years, decided to break and go out on my own. I knew Rhodes State College was coming downtown because we used to do the dean's hair at the salon.
Okay.
And she was like, I think it'd be great. So I looked into JT's, Mr. Pitt's old shop, went in there, totally redid it all over, dropped a lot of money. I sold everything.
Hold up. Now listen to this. Listen to this. Start over again. How was you able to do that? What did it take to do that?
I
You had to-
absolutely sold everything I had. I walked to work.
Everything.
I walked to work for about 7 to 8 months, winter and spring, and worked all day.
Them the sacrifices you got to do sometime. And this building is nice, y'all. I mean, it's nice. I just showed. Seen you,
Well, that's the
showed you-
downtown. That's the now version. I'll say in the downtown is where I really made the sacrifice.
Okay. Okay.
I sold everything I had, and at that time, with council going on and times got rough, I lost my personal house. I was paying. I went from a 3 bedroom full basement, yard, an acre and a half, to a duplex home with crackheads living above me. Okay, and I shopped downtown, so I was paying rent and mortgage in 3 different spots, bills and everything, and sold everything I had, and I started bartering. So if I had a carpenter, man, I'll cut you so many cuts for this. I didn't have tools. I literally had like 4 tools to my name.
Okay.
So people was coming in doing my electric work for me, and I was giving them haircuts. Oh, I got some nephews that need this. So that's what I did. So even when I was open for the first 3 to 4 months, I wasn't making no money. I wasn't making no money. So anyway, after I got in there, that was in May. That December, I go to city council. Mayor says adamant domain, they're taking the whole corner. So I go, what? So I don't pour it in every dime that I had into the building, but I poured it into somebody else's property. That's what I get on these young brothers now. Make sure you got ownership.
Yeah.
Okay. But I poured it into somebody else's property, and then he's like, hey, I'm selling the building. You got to go. So I couldn't go home to my kids and brown eyes looking at me talking about,
Yeah,
Daddy, what we about to do. So I took a walk up Main Street. I just happened to see the building for sale. I don't know if y'all know about the word, but I literally walked around that building about 7 times, just
Yeah,
praying
go ahead on.
and asking
Claim
God
it.
and claiming the building. And like Frank thought I was crazy. And he's like, "What you doing?" I said, "Man, I'll talk to you later, man."
Yeah.
And I kept walking around the building and I prayed, and I did that 7 times.
Yeah.
I didn't even tell my wife knows now.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even tell her. But I came home like, hey, I found a spot. This is what we're going to do. She's like, I ain't moving in that raggedy building. I said, well, it's our marriage or the building. We got to, what I'm saying? It's like, we got to take care of the kids. And they're like, so they didn't see the vision, man. They didn't see the vision. They didn't see the vision. And I'm going to lie, it was horrible looking. There was like over 15,000 books in this building, man. Like shelves. It was old telemarketing. It was raggedy.
Yeah.
So my thing was build an incubator. What do I need to do to sustain what I got? So what I did was I took all these little law offices and little offices they had around, and I separated them all off, and I made offices for black business. Well, I should say minority businesses. Okay, so for minority businesses to come in, develop. So I built this incubator so they could come in, grow, go. We bring in the next black business.
Yeah.
Okay, so shout out to Jamie with Uniquely Gifted. She came in right off the bat. And she was the only one off the rip that seen what I was trying to do. And she's like, I'm in. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
She actually was in before the salon was in or my home. I flipped her upstairs. I live upstairs.
Okay.
So Jamie came in. She's been rocking with me since day one. I love her to death. She's been good for me. The other businesses have came in and left and gone. And that kind of was to show, back to showing the sermon instead of preaching the sermon.
Yeah.
we was the only business building operating that had over 5 black businesses under the same dwelling, all working together.
That's good.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So the kids that was coming in the door was like, man, what's that? And I said, well, this is back there, this is back there. Whoa.
Yeah.
You know, there's a podcast room in there now. There's a full music studio in there now.
Yes.
So people are like, dang, man, I didn't even know this building had all this. And then, but I want them to see that it's reachable. It's tangible. You can get this. You can do this. So that's what Black Lace is. It's about 30% about hair.
Okay.
But the ordeal was I wanted to create a name where people would feel comfortable.
Yeah, we love the name.
Well, I did Black Lace because, you know, somebody put on Black Lace.
Yeah.
They look good.
It's over with.
They look good. They look sexy. You know what I'm saying? They look sexy. And I wanted a kind of, you know, multicultural, male or female could come in and feel comfortable. So that's what we've been doing. And actually on Friday, man, praise God, I got 10 years in the game on my own.
10 years up there?
10 years at Black Lace, being my own.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So 20 years license, 10 years on my own. So it's cool. So if anybody would like to come out on Friday, I don't know when y'all gonna drop this.
Yeah.
But if anybody would like to come out Friday, man, and just show love, just come through and say, you know, thanks, man, proud of you. You know, thanks for being an example.
Okay.
You know, my head is about this small. You ain't never got to work for my head. Get big and blowing up, you know. No ego this way.
We probably dropped the show. The show might won't drop until the end of next week.
Okay.
The end of next week, but we will be doing the trailer. I'll keep you informed on that.
Okay.
We usually drop the trailer before that, and then get your chance to check everything out. You know what, man? It's been great, man. You know, just sitting here talking with you, man, and then just kind of just finding out about you. I always knew you was up there and knew about you. You messed with some of our guys that we done had up here.
Right.
You know, Chief Slick, you know.
Slick, that's my dude.
Since he was 16, I talked about that, you know, and man, it just and then just to finally meet the person, you know, the Jesse Lowe, man. I mean, you just a different person. You cut from a different cloth. I mean, and the things that you've been telling us just to know your struggle. A lot of people, you know, they don't even know, they would never even know it, you know, because you just seem like you just, everything is in order.
I want to say, I don't know how much time we got. But
we got about 5-10 minutes.
Okay, I do want to say this. I made a comment earlier, and I ain't forget it. But people was like, man, I didn't know he was doing this, and I didn't know he was doing that, and I didn't know he was doing this. Sometimes, black men, stay off social media. Keep your mouth shut. Move like a ninja. Everybody got to know what you're doing and when you're doing it. Sometimes the element of surprise is the best thing ever.
Yep.
You get out here and I see so many egos. I did this, I did that, I want to do this. Man, we over here, we doing this, we did that. Man, sometimes be quiet. At the end of the day, God see you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to hold you accountable. But I want to say this. Move like a ninja sometimes. Just be silent. No ninja announces what they about to do.
You heard that?
They don't announce. It's that simple.
Pre-game.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say, I say this all the time to some of the younger cats, you know, man, I can't do this, I can't do that. You know, I'm only this, I'm only that. And I tell them all the time, say, young man, let me tell you something. Tarzan thought he was a monkey until his own came and claimed him and told him what he was and what he could be and what he was on the throne to be.
And sometimes that's what it takes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So my thing is to us men, black, white, and I don't care. But men, we have to start stepping up. This generation is so lost. If they ain't doing this on the phone, they don't know what to do. Like, it is a withdrawal. We need to start providing those, if you want to, my drum line.
Yeah. That's why I want to finish up with.
Okay. Go ahead.
I want to finish up with that because like I've been watching people and I was like, damn, bro, he over there messing with drum lines and all that stuff. That's you bringing some city stuff there that we hadn't had.
And we travel around. People don't understand that we travel outside of a limit. You know they say Jesus wasn't even welcome to Salon City.
Yeah.
People are calling us all the time. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? But this is the deal. We started at 8. We've had those almost at 7 come in, up to 18. What was happening was we was training them. Okay, we was getting them right. Then when they get to junior high and high school, they know they on point
Yeah,
because
they
they with us.
ready.
So
Wow.
then they was claiming them.
Yeah.
And say, well, we can get a grade and we'll put you back in band. They ain't been in band all the time.
Right.
So we was slacking on that. So what we did was like, look, we need dedication, not motivation. We need dedication. We need to know that you're going to be committed to us, and we pour into these kids. It's absolutely free. The Bradfield has been tremendous
Tell them
to
about
us.
it, man. Tell
The
them where it's at,
Bradfield
everything.
Center has been there for us. The Lima Rotary has been our sponsor since the beginning. August 1st will be 13 years that this program has been running for
Wow.
absolutely
That's
free.
crazy. That's crazy.
Absolutely
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
Absolutely free.
Yeah.
Only thing you got to pay is attention. I tell people that all the
Right.
time. But when you come in, we teach them how to read it, write it, play it, perform it. And we build, and I'm gonna tell you, man, the percussion is probably about 40% of what we dealing. We done dealt with sexual abuse, we done dealt with mental abuse, we done dealt with alcoholism, we done dealt with adoption problems. We've messed with a cutter. We've had domestic violence. These kids is going through so much, and I'm not taking away from any other organization that's dealing with the same thing, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, our core
Yeah.
has been crazy. These kids are family now, and the one thing that we do different. If you came and said, I want to join Drumline right now, like your name would be Pick Pick, because I know you like snap pictures and video. Like we take them for an
Yeah,
hour and a half, we take them totally out of their life. So you belong to us for that hour and a half. We got a Battery, we got a Bunny, we got a Pete, we got a Pee Wee, we got a Hero, we got
Everybody got a name.
Jazzy. Everybody has a name. Cheese. Reese, like
Yeah.
everybody has a name. We take them totally out of Eminem. We take them totally out of what they're used to. So for that hour and a half, when I call your name, you know I'm talking to you, and we hold them all accountable for everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing. I'm glad I'm in a position to be able to help. But it's crazy, you know. Like even from the beginning, you know, it was the music.
Yeah.
Still the music.
Yeah.
To this day, 50 years later, it's still the music, man. But
That's
that's
pretty
what held me together. I couldn't throw the ball. I was horrible.
Right.
I couldn't hit the bat. I
So
was
you
horrible.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man? You see what I'm saying? It's the sports is not for everybody. So just to have that there as a safety net and be able to, because we our expression in music is just so much different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just have you and people like y'all to be able to tap into that. You know, it's just awesome, man.
And let me say this though, Black Lace, please.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to come and see me, we do everything. I'm gonna tell you, you know, there's a lot of great barbers in the city. There's a lot of great cosmetologists. The thing that I do different, my niche is designs. So
Yeah.
you can come to me with anything, and
We said
pretty
that too,
much
didn't we,
gonna
Lou? Say,
probably
we take the design.
drop it in your head and do whatever. But you know, if I can't do it, I'm gonna tell you that too. But I like the challenge. So if you got something you think you can pop off at me, let's go.
Let's go. Man, this been awesome, man. Like I was saying, man, we've been having a nice time up here. We got him Jesse Lowe, man, and he's just a guy. He just got everything going on, man, but he just quiet with it. And he doing it, man. He making moves, man, and it's kind of like for the city, man. You know, we got it going on over there. He got the Black Lace where you can go get your hair cut. And he like the preacher, the teacher, and everybody over there. And so you're doing your drumline thing, man. And I know how that is, man. I know how that's an opportunity for the kids, man, and everything. And it just, man, you just awesome dude, man. I'm glad to have you in here and just find out more about you.
Appreciate
it was
it.
something that me and Lou have been already working on, you know. And guess what? We do pop-ups. Now, I'm gonna ask you this, so would this be okay? If we do the pop-up, we like to do our pop-ups because we call pop-ups where we actually come back and follow up, you know, what we do.
Right.
And we would like to pop up out with you on the drum line with the people out there.
Anytime, every Tuesday,
let them see it.
every Tuesday from 6 to 7:30 at the Bradfield Center, and it's absolutely free.
You heard that? That's what we gonna do. And so when we do our pop-up, we gonna pop out there. We gonna let y'all get some of that drum line and let people kind of just see a little bit more about it. And y'all that haven't had a chance to get out there to see it, you gonna get a chance to see it. You go online, you go on YouTube, whatever you want. Just come on our channel and you will get a chance to check it out. And you'll get a chance to see his show. We got him to sit down with us today, man. We had a nice time. It's Jesse Lowe, man. Man, I'm gonna say this once again. We the self-made kings. Y'all know where to find us. Go over on YouTube. He got a podcast too. Tell him about your podcast before we get out of here.
On Point with Jesse Lowe.
On Point with Jesse Lowe, man. And I want to subscribe to that too before we get out of here too, okay? We want to tell you once again, I got Lou. I got Jesse. I'm the dream, man. We self-made kings. We love you and we out.